experiences on IA and provide you with a complete range of products and developer support for the entire spectrum and all of the different software environments that developers want to use. And as you know, none of us are just building products for one segment anymore, or for just one market. So what I want to talk about is a couple of different key technologies and what we're doing in those areas across, I would call them horizontally, across the computing spectrum and how that builds the experiences that we're talking about. These influence, we think, more than others, what we need to do. The first is performance and scaling, the use of available compute. And Deborah mentioned that Jeff Lowney will be giving a tech talk about parallel computing today. I think that Jeff is one of our Intel fellows and foremost authority in this area, and very worthwhile discussion. Visual computing, how realistic the image looks, and how good the graphics is, we'll talk about that. And then of course in a connected world, device development, quick SoC development, internet connections. So we've made a lot of investments in this area. And obviously we've made a few acquisitions in the software group. And we've done that really along our strategy of helping to build better products and Intel architecture across the continuum. So to give you an example, to thread code, we have acquired the leaders in parallel programming. And their products have been integrated into our tool sets, which Jeff will talk about today. And that is SilkArts and RapidMine. We made a number of acquisitions over the years that I've talked about at the last couple of IDFs in visual computing. And Havoc has been enjoying us and talk about what they're doing with multi-core and Atom in a few minutes. And then of course last IDF we talked about the acquisition of Wind River, and we know how they have been very helpful in embedded and device development. And I'm going to give you an example of some of the work they've done with Intel in the last year. So, I want to mention Virtutek, sorry. Virtutek, we probably didn't make a big announcement about that one, but Virtutek is the SoC emulation platform for using Atom processors in an embedded and device environment. And that is a tool that is sold through Wind River today. So Wind River joined Intel about a year ago, and I'm sure some of them are in the audience, of course. The great thing about presenting to big audiences, I can only see the first 3 rows. So, if you're out there. And what I'd like to show you is the results of their work and some of the progress that we've made. I don't have to tell you the bandwidth is going up. I think everybody knows that, although there's a chart showing this big up arrow. And when it comes to actually processing the packets through the bandwidth across the network, we haven't really seen a fundamental change on how that problem has been approached, until now. Together with Wind River and our embedded group, we have created the network acceleration platform. And what you're seeing on the bottom is the traditional packets going through and the bottleneck in a multi-core environment of the contention between system operating tasks and the packet tasks. On the top is the new process, which is 20 times faster than before. By distributing the load across multiple integrated processing cores, we're able to execute the packet processing and OS tasks in parallel. And of course, that's a big part of getting scale performance out of multi-core. The result is less system overhead, of course, more efficient systems, but more importantly, unprecedented throughput. We can now deliver 10.5 million packets per second per core, and it scales linearly. So for those of you that haven't done that math really quickly, on an 8-core machine, that's 84 million packets per second. And that is a great user experience for a network service provider. There's more technology that's important. Paul talked about it yesterday, and that's in the area of security. Paul really spoke to our acquisition of McAfee, but I'll say a few words. As we look across the continuum of computing from a handset to a tablet to a notebook, and even, of course, more importantly, in the cloud and the data center, security is a fundamental need across all of those segments. We've been working with McAfee for several years as partners, and we recognized there were a lot of innovations and new products that we could bring to market. And in fact, in 2011, we've said we will be introducing the results of the work that we started prior to our acquisition. Pulling all of those pieces together, we think we'll be able to build the best user experience on Intel products. So, we're at IDF, and I would be remiss, this is my main job, to talk about developer resources for our developers. And I'm going to review some facts and figures quickly, and then I'm going to bring real Intel developers to talk about what their experience has been as part of our program.